Alrighty, Dave here, Hidden Freedom Investing, and today we're going to go ahead and do a March dividend portfolio update. March has been a real crazy month. We had the low in the market on March 23rd, so I went ahead and picked up a lot of stuff on that day, but we're going to go ahead and go through that here in a minute. So let's go ahead and take a look at the portfolio. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just do an update. We're going to run a couple of scripts here to update the fractional shares from all the dividends that I received. And we're also going to run another script to update all of the dividend information for all the dividend increases and all that stuff, and for the month of March. All right, we are looking at the portfolio here, and so all the scripts have been updated. So we got all of the fractional share dividends have been basically added to the portfolio, and you can kind of see that in the actual script where the portfolio value is going up along with the annual income. So I do have 37 positions in this portfolio, and I added a couple of new ones. It's kind of getting out of control, but there are so many deals going on right now that it's very hard not to pick up some new positions. I can always cut them out, a year, 6 months, 2 years down the road when I need to cut, the portfolio down. It's not a big deal having, more positions if things are on sale. Matter of fact, it's even better to pick them up now, because if they were already in the portfolio when I started this, they would probably be down 20 to 30%. So, adding some new positions is not a bad idea. So we'll kind of look at that here in a minute, but let's just go ahead and kind of look at these by from smallest to largest in value here. And okay, it looks like it's already adjusted. So the biggest position in here is Johnson & Johnson, and I try to keep it that way, but Microsoft could, if I don't add to Johnson & Johnson, I think Microsoft will come up and probably, exceed Johnson & Johnson at one point or another. So, but that's okay. So I do keep adding to all these positions when I do get good deals, but lately that's not been very easy. So what are the new positions I added to this portfolio? So I added 3 new ones since the last update, and one of those was Apple. I did a one-time purchase of 20 shares, and that was on March 23rd, right at the market lows, and I could not pass it up because the dividend was a little bit higher than what it's showing right here at 1.28. But so I did pick up those 20 shares on March 23rd. So another position I did pick up was Nextera Energy here. It's 6 positions there, or 6 shares I should say, of NEE, and I just felt that was a pretty good purchase. I picked that one up in March as well, near market lows, and I figured it'd be a good buy. So probably just because I had possibly the inkling to remove PPL down the road, possibly. I did feel that PPL is a little more riskier of a utility than all the other utilities I have, and I have quite a few utilities, by the way. So if we look at those here, let's just scroll down. So there's all the utilities I do have. So I do have, PPL, NEE, Duke, SO, and ED, and I'm probably going to end up trimming that down to probably just 3. So I'll probably end up cutting PPL and NEE out possibly. I do like ED as my main utility, and I really like Southern as well. Duke is a good one. I may keep it just to those 3. I haven't really decided yet, so we'll just kind of see, as things progress. So I'll look at the ones that, are the, strongest in the actual sector, but, and make a decision down the road. So the other position I did add was I added Sysco, and that's the food company Sysco. So that is right here, and I just picked this one up recently, and I did not pick it up at the actual extreme low, and I've been kicking myself in the butt for that one just because I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is a really good deal. I should buy that. Why didn't I buy it? And then the next day or two, it shot up like 15% or something like that, and I didn't buy. So I kind of just, was my only regret I had. But it has been selling off the last, I'd say this week or so. So I did pick up a new position in Sysco, and it's got a dividend of 4.56% at this point. So if we scroll over here and look at the actual dividend information, So right now my average weighted dividend yield is right on 4%. And if you took all those positions and just bought them outright and didn't look at the actual average weighted dividend yield, it would be 4.4%. So at the lows of the market at it was on March 23rd, this was over 5%. So it was an amazing deal. There's a lot of good deals out there. Some of these could cut their dividend, but that's the whole reason why we get in these aristocrats and kings, is to kind of limit that. But there is a couple positions that are a little risky. O is kind of a little riskier. It's definitely not as risky as all the other REITs that are out there right now, like NRZ and Stag and Maine and all those ones that people have been buying and kind of pumping up, and now they're getting their butt chewed. So another couple of I'd say riskier ones are some of these oil plays here, Chevron and Exxon Mobil, and look at the payout ratios on those. So we'll keep an eye on those, and I don't think that they're going to cut them. That's going to be the last thing that they're going to do. Yeah, they're not going to do buybacks or anything like that probably, but I don't think they're going to cut the dividend, so I'm not too worried about that. I think oil can go lower, but I don't think oil is going to go to $5 or anything like that. So, I think that they can survive this 8.8%. And I really don't add much to those positions. We'll look at the allocation here in a second, but I did add some shares of both of those positions. When it's down at lows like this. Now, those two positions, if you looked at my earlier portfolio updates, were a little overweight, so I kind of had not been adding to them. But when we're down at the lows like this, why not add some, more shares to those positions? It's kind of a no-brainer. So AT&T is getting a little out of hand at 110% payout ratio here. I think it's safe. They do have a lot of debt, but at 7.57%, I'm willing to risk that $3,000 or $4,000 I have in it. $4,000 I have in it. I think it's a pretty safe play. But I did add Verizon to the portfolio, relatively recently as well. So I have basically just wanted to split out the communications sector a little bit, not put everything all into T, and take a little bit of get a little bit of exposure to that 5G network as well. So those are all of the new positions. So if we look at all the dividend increases we had for the month of March, it looks like there's only one that got increased. And that looks like it was Colgate-Palmolive, because this is green, so it got increased by 4 cents. Now I think actually O increased theirs as well, or Realty Income, but I'm not looking at fractions of a penny, so it's not registering that it actually increased. But maybe I'll have to adjust that to show another digit. Past that fraction of a penny there. So yeah, Realty Income did get increased by like half a cent or something like that. So just be aware of that. So we only had one increase, and that was on, well, 2 increases, but we'll go ahead and clear this flag on Colgate-Palmolive. So 1.76. Okay, that one is cleared. So let's go ahead and take a look at the allocations here real quick. Current allocations for the actual portfolio. And I should probably update the S&P 500 allocations. It's been about 4 or 5 months, and we'll see if there's been any changes to these allocations for the sectors. But these are my current allocations. I keep trying to get up information technology a little bit, but it's been a strong sector, so it's hard to get some deals in that sector. But I did add, quite a bit of Apple all at one shot, so that did bring up the allocation quite a bit. I do try to add to the healthcare and the financial sectors. I do think financials is going to be safe this time around, unlike in 2008. But and consumer staples is always a little overweight, just because there's a lot of good companies in there. Plus, it's kind of defensive, so that Sysco just kind of jumped it up quite a bit. So. That is the current allocation as of right now, and here's the income by sectors. So the top income producer for me is consumer staples, followed by healthcare, and then right after that comes financials and utilities. So another thing we're going to look at here is just real quick, because I've never actually showed this, my actual watch list. So this is what's in my current watch list at the moment. And I just recently added Disney and Starbucks to this. You know, they're very popular stocks. I can't get away from hearing about those things every day. I did add those to the watch list, and like I was saying earlier, I will probably end up adding, you know, who knows, maybe 4 or 5 positions in this watch list to the portfolio at like kind of like a temporary basis, I'd say. They probably won't stay in the portfolio long term. I don't know whether in fact that's going to be true or not. You know, I could change my mind, but I could see myself adding Starbucks. I could see myself adding to Disney. I could see myself adding the Sysco tech company, you know, CSCO, not the actual food company because I already own it, but I could see myself adding this one here. So and maybe, you know, who knows, you know, maybe there's some other ones in here I could add as well. So, but that's just what's in my watch list at the moment. So for the month of March, we basically bought a ton of stuff. Now this is actually kind of reverse. Let me just reverse this a little bit here. So starting all the way back to the 5th of March, you know, here's all the purchases that I made. And you can kind of see that I'm just buying 1 or 2 shares of stuff. And then when we had a bigger sell-off, I'd, you know, kind of ramp those up a little bit more, add some more Microsoft and on weaker days. But we'll go to the next day here, and here is some more purchases that I made, and kind of ignore this one here. So I did buy that, you know, iShares Ultra Short, ICSH, and then pretty much the next day I sold it. I had some, you know, other business I got to take care of, and I kind of need those funds for something else to be available for that. So I did sell that the very next day, so we're not going to really count that. But so, you know, you minus that 6,900 up there, it's another, you know, 7 grand or so I pretty much put in the portfolio. And we're going to get up to basically you know, one of the big sell-off days. So there's the day I sold that, and basically the 16th all the way through. You minus that out. We'll actually just add these up here in a second. And here is another page of buys. You know, a lot of onesies and twosies. You know, a little bit bigger purchases here in the actual utility sector. Probably got pounded that day. So, you know, if a sector gets pounded more than usual, I'll go ahead and make a little bit more purchases. But let's get up to the 23rd. So go to the next page here, and here's a bunch of 23rd. So that was the low in the market, and I did a lot of purchases that day. So, you know, pretty much took up this whole page. I think I spent over $14,000 of investment that day, and you know, 4,000 of that was just in Apple alone, which was right here. So, and then the rest of the month, you know, I kind of picked up, you know, a few things here and there the rest of the month, but you know, another $4,000. So for the month of March alone, I went ahead and invested over $36,679. Just 14,000 of that alone was on the low of the market of 323. So, you know, it was a really expensive month for me, but when you see the portfolio values going up, you know, I am down in my whole portfolio. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So I am down in my portfolios. I'm not, you know, just because you see my portfolio value going up on my actual thumbnails, and I've been putting a lot of money into this, I am still down over $13,000 in this account. So just like everybody else, I'm down, all right? So, you know, why it shows only 10% that I'm down, it's because I keep averaging down in a lot of these positions. So, and I'm gonna keep doing that if the market continues to sell off. So, and just to kind of show you all the individual positions here, I don't normally show this, but it is showing you the gain and loss on every one of my positions here, just to kind of have a record of it. So, Obviously, my biggest decliner is going to go ahead and be that ExxonMobil. I gotten killed in leg as well, PPL, Realty Income, and there's some of my bigger decliners there. But I do, if you go near the top here, I do have some actual positive positions as well. And of course, Apple is positive because I bought it at the absolute low. So in NE is a kind of a new position as well. Verizon somewhat new. So yeah, that's why those are green. Some of these other ones like Johnson & Johnson, Colgate, and Walmart are just strong defensive plays. That's the reason why they're still green. So the very last thing we're going to look at here is we're just going to go ahead and look at a different view of my dividends I got received for the month of March. So when I run that script, it never gets old. So I just like to run that script to see the actual, dividendometer or dividend speedometer or whatever you want to call it. It kind of just go up, and it gets added to the portfolio dynamically through my script. And just for the month of March alone, we went ahead and received $296, almost $297 for the month of March in dividends. So going forward, it looks like Schwab has us at $377 on average for a month, and it's a little outdated just because it's not showing the actual real amount, but these aren't completely 100% accurate, but they're relatively close. So June will be the next big month for me at $611, and then this will be another $625, and then I guess December will be another $625. So May, we're in April now. Just let me go back to 2020 here, and February, March. So April, we're not going to receive too much, about $146 is what they're estimating. So and then May is kind of a somewhat small month as well. So but over through the whole year, it just kind of compounds on itself. I'm going to go ahead and invest more money as well. So that ends this portfolio update for the month of March. We'll go ahead and end the video here. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and I appreciate everybody watching. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.